FM. Mapapakul ka dito!
Every emotion.
Cool FM. Mapapakul ka dito!
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening and welcome to koolNews at 6. Senator J.B. Ejercito is back as the majority leader in the Senate. On Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino's motion, Ejercito was elected to his old post during Tuesday's regular session. Ejercito held the position during the time of then Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri. But when Zubiri resigned on May 20, his allies, including Ejercito, followed suit. Aside from Ejercito, the Senate also elected the new heads of two committees. Senator Christopher Bongo is the new chairman of the Senate Committee on Youth, which was vacant following the resignation of Senator Sonny Angara. Angara is Meanwhile, Senator Mark Villar was elected chairman of the Senate Committee on Games and Amusement. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has proposed the implementation of then 10 flood control projects from 2024 to 2037. In the President's report to the people released Tuesday, Marcos said these 10 projects would cost over 500 billion pesos. These are Integrated Flood Resilience and Adaptation Infra Project 2, Central Luzon Pampanga River Floodway Project, Paraná Spillway Tunnel Project, Ampal Simo River and Rio Grande de Mindanao River Flood Control and River Bank Protection, Davao City Flood Control and Drainage Project, Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Measures in the low-lying areas of Pampanga Bay, Stage 2, Infra 3 Project, Kadlang Ala and Ilok Hilambangan, Infra 4 Project, Agno Katakan, and Mag-Asawang Tubig. Flood control projects for Pampanga and Bicol River Basins Package 1, flood control projects for Panay and Agusan River Basin Package 2. Last May, Marcos promised to fix the country's flood control system amid the threat of La Nina. But of course, in the long term, ang talagang solution dyan is yung flood control. ayusin natin yung flood control, gagawin natin irrigation. Maiipon tayo ng tubig para kapag nag-aputan tayo ng tuyo, kaya na yon ay meron tayo pagkukuhan ng tubig, Marcos said. In his third State of the Nation address, the President underscored the need for flood control projects and mentioned the flood risk management in the Cagayan River as one of the government's solutions to the lasting effects of La Nina. He noted that more than 5,500 flood projects have already been completed in his administration. A farmer and his son were killed Monday in a highway accident in Dao to Angam Mitimbang Town, Maguindanao del Sur. Lieutenant Salonga Laguyuan, Municipal Police Chief of Dao to Angam Mitimbang, identified the fatalities as Mustafa Dalangan, age of 25, and a farmer and his son, Loharis 6, both residents of Barangay Ablacion. Also injured in critical condition in the hospital were Dalandan's wife, Bayman, and their children, Site Hawa, age of 8, and Haipa 6. Langguguyan said the victims were on board a tricycle driven by Dalandan with his family members on board when hit by a Toyota Hiace van as he tried to make a U-turn along the National Highway at 5 p.m. The children were thrown off the tricycle and suffered serious injuries, Lagunyan said. The van driver, identified as Kehat Tafai Gui Amanludin of Cotabato City, is now detained at Dadu Angal Mitimbang Municipal Police Detention Facility. Police are preparing charges of reckless imprudence resulting in homicide and injuries. The 5,000 pesos shock allowance for teachers will be released on the opening of classes on Monday, July 29, newly installed Education Secretary Sonny Angara said on Tuesday. Yung shock allowance will be released very soon in time for the opening of class. Yun talaga yung timing nung Pagkabukas ng klase, may allowance na si teacher para iyong panggilangan inyong pagkukulang doon sa kanyang classroom, pwede inyang punang or dadakan. Angara said in an Agash interview after the Brigada Eskwela at Mataas na Parangang Neptali Gonzales in Mandaluyong City. He noted that the cash allowance will be tax-free, adding that it will increase to 10,000 pesos next year. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed into law last June a measure that would increase the chalk allowance given to public school teachers to ease the burden of the expenses they incur in their teaching activities. The law would cover teachers at the basic education level. Angara, one of the bill's authors when he was senator, said that the law results in fewer instances when teachers have to make out-of-pocket expenses in the performance of their duties. 2 cops were wounded Monday after a farmer shot them while they were having their lunch at the rooftop of the police station in Oblacion Zone 1, Jeffertown, Yete. The 44-year-old suspect, known as Ed, was gunned down by policemen after he launched a sudden attack. A report from the regional headquarters of the Philippine National Police at Can Roberto Canleon, Town, Yete said the suspect suddenly arrived while the policemen were having lunch, seized the service firearm of one of them and fired at them. One of the policemen was hit on the chest while another suffered a gunshot wound on his on his right lower cuff. Another policeman, sensing immediate danger to his life, jumped out of the window of the rooftop. A policeman tried to disarm the suspect but was overpowered, prompting another policeman to shoot the suspect. The victims and the suspect were quickly rushed to the Jever Municipal Infirmary for immediate medical attention. However, the suspect was declared dead on arrival by the attending physician. The injured policemen were referred to the Divine World Hospital in Tacloban City for treatment. An investigation is being conducted to unveil the motive behind the attack. Yet the acting police director, Colonel Leon Co. Apas Jr. said his suspect went to the police station on the pretense of surrendering after he learned that he had an arrest warrant. Abbas did not disclose why the suspect had an arrest warrant. In light of this, I want to assure the public that this incident is isolated, and yet the police provincial office is actively managing and addressing the situation, he said. The Yete PBO reaffirms its commitment to maintaining peace and order with the safety of our officers and the communities we serve as our top priority, Abbas added. The number of Chinese vessels in the West Philippine Sea decreased from July 16 to 22, the Philippine Navy reported on Tuesday. According to the Navy, there were 80 China Coast Guard ships, People's Liberation Army Navy warships, and Chinese maritime military vessels from July 16 to 22. This was less than the 105 CCC ships, Pila-N warships, and CMM vessels monitored from July 9 to 15. In the latest monitoring period, 7 CMM vessels and 3 CCG vessels were spotted at Panatac's Caparal Shoal, one of the tension hotspots between Manila and Beijing. Meanwhile, 2 Pila-N warships, 14 CMM vessels, and 4 CCG vessels were seen at the Ayungin Sakatamo Shoal, another major flashpoint of tensions in the West Philippine Sea. Last June 11, Navy spokesperson Commander Roy Vincent Trinidad said the presence of the CMM is dictated by several factors like weather. The weather affects all players and claimant countries, not only China, Vietnam, and the Philippines, he said in the press conference when asked if there is an expected decrease of vessels due to the rainy weather. Last week, the Department of Foreign Affairs said the Philippines and China reached an understanding on the temporary arrangement for the rotation and resupply missions to June 17 incident at Ayungin Shoal, which saw the most violent actions of CCG so far, leading to what the Philippine military deemed as looting of its disassembled high-power guns and even caused the amputation of one of its naval personnel. In his third State of the Nation address on Monday, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. vowed to find ways to de-escalate tensions in contested areas without compromising our position and our principles. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief General Romel Brono Jr. on Tuesday said he fully supports Marcos. With the firm belief that peaceful channels such as dialogue and diplomacy are keys to peacefully resolving disputes, we will continually engage, build partnerships, and seek wider international support for what is rightfully ours, Bronner's statement read. Bronner also enjoined the country's allies to make a united stance against those that seek to undermine the 2016 Bureau ruling that recognized the Philippines' rights over the West Philippine Sea. The West Philippine Sea is a portion of the South China Sea that falls within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. However, China claims almost all of the South China Sea, including parts claimed by the Philippines, Vietnam, Brunei, and Malaysia. In 2016, the Bureau Tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines and said China's claims have no legal basis. The landmark ruling stemmed from a case filed by Manila in 2013, a year after its standoff with Beijing over the Panatac's Caparal Shoal, whose slogan the latter now has effective control of. It is now 6:12, which is 12 minutes past 6, and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews at 6. So stick around, we will be right back. Several human rights condemned the reported planning of evidence by two Pantacas police officers that led to the unlawful killing of a man in Quezon Province. CHR Chairperson Richard Papalatok said the action of the policeman was a violation of the victim's right to life. He said the involved police officers must face the full extent of the law. Master of Sergeant Juan Macarik and SGT Michi Perez from the Batangas Provincial Police Office recently admitted there was no bypass operation against Brian Ledesma on May 28, and that they planted evidence of such as money, gun, and shabu slang for crystal meth on Ledesma to imply his involvement in the illegal drug trade. The CHR condemns the act said in a statement Tuesday. It is imperative that the police officers implicated in this grievous act face the full extent of further actions, he added. Carrick and Perez admitted to planting evidence on Ledesma during a hearing on the House Committee on Public Order on July 15. The two police officers were likely scolded during the public hearing for omitting crucial information from the affidavit of Ledesma's brother, Adrian, that Perez pointed a gun at him and told him to leave. The CHR said the killing of Ledesma is a violation of Articles 10 and 11 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 14 of the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights, which entitle everyone to a fair trial and a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The human rights body also said the investigation of the Provincial Internal Affairs Service of the Pantacas Police Provincial Office should lead to the filing of charges against officers who violated the protocols. Ensuring that those responsible are held accountable is crucial in restoring public trust in law enforcement and in future violations, the CHR stressed. The Senate shortened the work hours for some of its office on Tuesday, July 23. In a letter shared to the media, Senate Secretary Attorney Renato Pantoc Jr. said Senate President Francis Escudero instructed that officers and employees who are not assigned specific tasks for the conduct of the plenary session be allowed to go home at 2:30 p.m. Personnel of the Office of the Deputy Secretary for Legislation, Office of the Executive Director for Legislation, Philippine Accreditation Bureau, Office of the Sergeant at Arms, Maintenance and General Service Bureau, Public Relations and Information Bureau, MDB, Electronic Data Processing and Management Information System Bureau, and SMU are not included in the shortened work hours. Senate proper employees may be allowed to go home at the discretion of the respective principal, it added. No other details were provided as to why the working hours were shortened in some of the Senate's office. The Chamber's plenary session, meanwhile, was called to order at 3 p.m. but was adjourned in less than an hour. Prior to adjournment, Escudero announced the conduct of caucuses between members of the Senate. And the House of Representatives suspended its session on Tuesday due to inclement weather brought by the southwest monsoon and Typhoon Karina. Deputy Majority Leader and Pantacas 4th District, Representative Leila moved to suspend the session until 3 p.m. on Wednesday, July 24. Deputy Speaker Roberto Puno approved it. Early at noon, Malacanang suspended work in government and classes at all levels in Metro Manila due to bad weather. Work and class suspensions would start at 2 p.m. according to Palace Memorandum Circular Number 57, signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin. And now for showbiz entertainment news. Chris Aquino got sad quote-unquote results from her recent medical test, which, per her close friend, Dindo Valares, might have prompted the immediate return of her sons Josh and Bimby to the United States. Through his Instagram page on Monday, July 22, Valares spoke about the siblings' earlier flight to the US, where Chris has been seeking treatment for her autoimmune diseases. Marami ang nag-expect na magtatagal sa Pilipinas si Bimby dahil nai-announce dito ng kanyang mama Chris sa interview sa kanya ni Ogie Diaz sa kanilang bahay sa Orange County, California. He said, noting as well as that Bimby had already begun the negotiations for his showbiz career. Tama ang inisip ni Chris para kay Bimby na maranasan din ang regular school at na ang mas malawak pang mundo. Pero may message sa akin ni Chris na sure akong naging cute ng mabilisan pabalik sa US ni Bump. I have set well results, sabi nila. Valares continued without elaborating on what the medical results mean. Valares then underscored that while Bimby is happy with his relatives and friends in the Philippines, his mom remains his topmost priority. Inaalagan at pinalaki ni Christy si Bump first upang maging guardian ni Kuya Josh at pangkalawa upang maging maalaga, maalalahanin at loving sa lahat, Valares stated. Pero makakapaghintay ang anumang plano dahil syempre si Mama Chris ang kanyang laking priority. Kaya niya si Kuya Josh at agarang na silang lumipat. He added. Josh and Bimby flew back to the US last July 17. French film star Brigitte Bardot has slammed Japan for its manhunt of anti-whaling activist Paul Watson, detained under an international warrant issued by Tokyo. Watson was arrested in Greenland on Sunday, July 21, and pending a decision on his possible extradition to Japan, he will be held until August 15. His ship had docked to refuel on its way to intercept Japan's new whaling factory vessel in the North Pacific, according to the Captain Paul Watson Foundation. French screen legend turned animal rights activist Bardot told Le Parisien in an interview published on Monday that the Japanese government launched a global manhunt against Watson, who was caught in the trap. We must do everything to save Paul, she said. Watson, who featured in the reality TV series Whale Wars, founded the Sea Shepherd and the CPWF organizations and has joined attention for direct action tactics, including confrontations with whaling ships at sea. CPWF said it believed his arrest was in connection with an Interpol red notice related to Watson's previous anti-whaling activities in the Antarctic. Japan's government made no comment, but a spokeswoman for the Japanese Coast Guard told AFP on Monday it was aware of the arrest. The Coast Guard will continue to take appropriate steps based on coordination with related entities, the spokeswoman said. The red notice was issued in 2012 with an Interpol statement at the same saying Watson was wanted by Japan on charges of causing damage and injury in two incidents in the Antarctic Ocean in 2010 against a Japanese whaling ship. And that is it for Cool News at 6. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back later with Cool News Prime Time at 9 tonight. Until then, I am Caro, aka Aspir. Good evening.